I am on the hunt again. As you can see, I am actually in the passenger seat this time. The wife and I are actually headed north of where we live to hunt in an area that we've never actually hunted in before. So I can't remember if it's Vacaville or Vallejo or both, but we are going to head north and hopefully have some luck hitting up a couple of comic shops and thrift stores and some other things that are located just north of us. As always, I'm going to document the journey, and if I walk away with some cool stuff, I'll be able to show you at the very end of this video. Stay tuned. So we are here at our first stop. I'm not even sure where I actually am right now. The wife, I think, did a little bit of a bait and switch on me. I don't know what this town is called, but we are outside of Thrift Town, and I know that because it's on the sign right over my shoulder. We're gonna head inside and see what we can find. So we just finished up at this thrift store behind me. I actually didn't even shoot any footage inside because this place actually had fewer books than the last place. And the last place only had 2 books. So needless to say, we walked out of here empty-handed. The good news, however, is that I am enjoying the day with the wife, which is always time well spent. I'm not sure if we're going to head to grab something to eat or get some coffee or something like that, but I don't think that we're headed back home just yet. I think we're going to hang out a little bit longer. Maybe we'll hit another place. I'm not quite sure what her plan is. I am definitely going with the flow today. This is her trip, and she is the one that is in charge, so we are going to do whatever it is that she wants to do. And maybe we'll hit a shop or something like that, and if we do, I'll document it as well. All right, so the wife finished up pretty quickly, and now it is my turn. We drove a couple of more miles, and we found this place called the Purple Turtle. I didn't even know turtles were purple, but somehow or another, they are indeed purple. So this is the spot right here. We're gonna head inside and see what we can see, and hopefully we'll be able to pick up some good stuff. I am back in the comic book room, and I'm ready to show you guys all the books that I picked up a little earlier today. So the wife and I had a fantastic day. We actually ventured north of where we live in the San Francisco Bay Area to an area that we've never actually been to before. And we hit 2 thrift stores. And to be honest with you, she did a whole lot better than I did. But she also picked the area that we went to. So I think she stacked the deck against me. But we had a little free time after we hit her 2 shops, and we had a chance to swing by a new comic shop called the Purple Turtle Comics in Vallejo. This shop had only been open 6 weeks. So that in and of itself was pretty awesome to actually be able to hit basically a new comic shop. I was able to meet the owner, a guy by the name of Kyle. And what's awesome is that Kyle actually recognized me from the channel. So my wife and I both got a big kick out of that. But Kyle is an awesome guy. If you guys have a chance to swing by his shop, I definitely encourage you to do so. He had some nice backstock comics. He had some nice wall books. He had some slabs in there. They also have a nice little area set up for gamers. So if you're into magic cards or Pokemon or any of that other stuff, he has an area kind of set up for you guys to be able to enjoy those aspects of the hobby and collecting and all that good stuff. So check him out if you get a chance. So let me show you the books that I actually picked up at the Purple Turtle. And honestly, some of these books are really like nostalgic picks for me. Not a whole lot of craziness here, but for me, they're really cool because they really do remind me of my childhood. This first one, Alpha Flight number 3. I just really dig this cover. I've always wanted to find this book in the wilds, and I actually finally did. I think that this is the origin story of the Vindicator. And as a kid growing up, I was a big Alpha Flight fan because I liked Wolverine, I liked Puck, I liked the Vindicator. And so this was a really cool issue to actually find in the wild. And the cool thing about it is that the prices at the Purple Turtle were also really, really good. So I wanted to make sure that I showed him some love by picking up a couple of things. Next up, The Fallen Angels. I don't even know if anybody knows about this book, but this is one of those titles that I used to read back in the day as a kid. Cannonball, Warlock, etc. I mean, it's a really cool book that just takes me right back to my teenage years. So I picked up number 1, and it really is in nice shape. I don't know where they picked this book up from, but this book is in fantastic shape. Next is number 2, and again, a really, really nice copy of this. I think that's Cannonball. It's been a while since I've read this, but I think that that's Cannonball that was on the cover of 1 and also 2. And then here is issue number 3. Some boom, boom action going on there. I think that's Beast and Iceman also. So definitely a really cool book to pick up. What made these really cool for me back in the day was that I was a big X-Men fan. And so the X-Men, the X-Factor, the Fallen Angels, the Exterminators, all of those titles to me just kind of all went together. And I think the older you get, the more you kind of reminisce on those things that remind you of your childhood. Fallen Angels does that for me. I'm actually looking forward to reading those books because I don't think that I've ever read those issues, so I'm actually looking forward to reading those. I read some of the later, but not these. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking those out. And then the very last thing before I let you guys go is I want to give a huge shout out to Jorge, who goes by the name of Universe X Comics on Instagram, sent me a fantastic AOK, and it actually arrived today. So I want to show you these books that he sent over to me. And Jorge is definitely a subscriber of the channel that watches the videos that I put out, because this first book is the reason why he sent this AOK to me. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 198. And for those of you that remember, I actually have 2 copies of this particular book. Neither is in good shape. Neither one is in good shape. This one from Jorge is in fantastic shape. It could use a press, but most books could use a press. But this book by far is in better shape than both copies that I have. This book could probably, with a little bit of a press, be 8.5 to a 9, right? Easily. My books, probably like 5s and 6s. So I'm definitely pleased to have this really, really cool book. Newsstand, This one's cool. I dig the cover and I could never find it in good shape, and now I have it. So shout out to Jorge. He also, his whole thing was, if I'm going to send you a book, I might as well, put together a nice little box for you. And certainly he did. So he also sent me this one, Amazing Spider-Man 618, featuring Mysterio. I also did not have this book. This was an awesome cover. This one is fantastic. I'm not a big fan of the color green, but this cover is slick. I dig this one. So definitely appreciate that. That's a really cool one. Next up, he sent me Young Avengers #9, and this is actually the first time that Kate Bishop appears in the Hawkeye uniform on the cover of a comic. I actually have many of the Young Avengers because I got into the Young Avengers in like the early 2000s, but I did not get issue #9, so I'm definitely pleased to have this one. So that's really cool. He also sent over this one. He sent some books and he was like, man, you can maybe give some of these away. I don't think I'm going to do that. Honestly, this is Daredevil 181. This is the death of Elektra. It is a nice yellow cover featuring Bullseye, Elektra, and Daredevil, the man without fear. This is going into some Mylar, and it is staying right in the collection. He also sent this one over. I think there's 3 more books. Yeah, 3 more. So he sent over Annihilation Conquest Wraith #2. And I think that this book and the #1 in this limited series are starting to heat up a little bit since Donny Cates announced that I think the Wraith is going to have a role in the upcoming Venom series that's going on. So definitely a cool book. I actually tried to get this book a little earlier, a little later at the end of last year and was unable to find a copy of it, but I'm glad to have this one now, and it's a really nice copy as well. And then he also sent this, a little Mr. Simmons, Spawn #1. I actually only have 1 copy of Spawn 1, and now I have 2. So definitely pleased to have this one in the collection. And then the very last one that he sent over, who doesn't love this one? Who doesn't love some Spider-Man, Todd McFarlane? This is Spider-Man #13. So again, huge shout out to Jorge Universe X Comics for hooking me up. And again, a big shout out to Purple Turtle Comics. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. And if you need to reach me, feel free to do so at Regie Collects on Instagram and reggiecollects@gmail.com. Take care.